So hi and welcome to the latest episode, new background for this one, the Mind Management Mentors podcast, where we talk about how we can manage the mind, how others can help manage their minds. I'm a mind management coach. We run this podcast with some of my ex-clients, with some of the amazing guests that we get on that's going to be talking about their perception of different things that's going on. Today is something different, and we've been talking about this for a long time, so I'm a little bit excited.
Been a while.
Has been a while, especially when I'm talking to ex-clients. And I think there is, especially in the world that you work in.
Aye.
And I definitely saw that there was an opportunity for me to work in that area because I love strongman. But before we go into that, welcome, Michael the Power Wilson.
Thank you very much for having me.
Not a problem at all. You're going to introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey of strongman. Tell me.
My name is Michael Wilson. I come from Leaving Fife.
Yeah.
I started my strongman journey 8 years ago.
Yeah.
My first competition, I was at Scotland. I qualified 8th, and at the final I came 8th. Then after that, I've never been at the top 5 in Scotland.
Nice.
So been quite successful staying in the top 5. So
yeah,
been good.
So this journey of strongman, and in the strongman world, now something that Luke talked about a long time ago on one of his podcasts, and there's a connection to you and Luke, yes. Luke Stoltman. Not only are you wearing the branded T-shirt, but there's a reason we started working together.
Aye.
And we're going to briefly touch on that, and we'll start there first. Then we're going to go back on a whole timeline of everything that's gone on in Mikey's glorious life to where you are now. Now, we would not have got... We was training in the same gym.
Yes.
And you were always very nice and cordial, which was always fantastic. I have to say fair play to you for that one.
I'm always a nice person.
You are, absolutely. But we eventually got talking because you asked me what I did and stuff like that. I told everyone I'm a mind management coach, help people manage their minds, their emotions, their confidence, their mental health. And you actually tell us about the story of how you were struggling at that point and who you went and spoke to about it.
Aye, so must have been about 4 years ago, 3 years ago. I had a bad time in my life. Then obviously I was struggling. I didn't know who to talk to. Then I kind of Luke Stoltman had a couple of like videos up on Facebook, like he does that. So I actually contacted Luke Stoltman, and he was having me tell me, say, "Go speak to somebody." Said probably the best thing he's ever done, and I was him who actually pushed me to actually talk to somebody. So I have to take my hands after him for pushing me to that. I had the right talking to anybody about my problems or stuff like that. I think a lot of people in that boat doesn't like talking about anything.
So why is it you don't like talking to people about your problems?
I think it's just because men are men. You know what I mean? Can you just get up in the morning and do it in a way? So it's like, because we're the alpha kind of male, we should can handle anything thrown at us.
And in the strongman world, let's be honest about that concept of strong man is lift heavy tires, move cars, pick up lorries. And I know that we talked before we started working together, and I always say to a lot of people, you will not be as strong as you need to be unless this is strong. Unless you've got your mind's got to be stronger than the body sometimes.
But when I first worked with you that year, I did prove a point. I came second in Scotland.
Absolutely.
So that was probably my best year ever. Well, in Scotland, I came second, and that's how we work with you. That will change my mindset. How I control, like my feelings, my emotions on the day. My nerves. How to calm myself down before stuff. And, if your mind's not strong, you're not gonna do well.
No, absolutely not.
That's in sport and in life.
Yes. Oh, dropping some knowledge there, Mikey. So, Mikey, we worked on it was a 1 year plan that we worked on. We met every 3-4 weeks, but we dealt with a lot of the past.
Yes.
Because our past was coming up and biting us on the arse.
So when I first met me, I think it was every week. I seen you for...
We did.
I did 5-6 weeks.
Yes.
Then obviously stuff got better. My emotions, everything else. I've handled it better. Then that's when we start tapping into the mind management. Into competitions. So, aye, that's new. How I look back to what I am now is a big.
Oh, aye. Oh, because something happened recently. I was like, Mike, there's no way that a year ago you'd have been absolutely throwing the world around, but you were like, no, I'm all right with it. I'm managing it and understanding it. And I think for a lot of people that's listening to this, especially talking in the strongman world, and we're going to keep coming back to that, is what makes us strong is that vulnerability. And there's going to be a vulnerability in this podcast. Absolutely, there's going to be a vulnerability. We're gonna talk about suicide. Because you, in the area that we're going to be talking about, is you've had a lot of friends who have committed suicide recently.
Yeah, one of them was on holiday to Turkey.
Yeah.
That was October. I went on holiday to Turkey with my ex-partner.
Yeah.
We just got back together. So we went, then I think it was 2 days into my holiday.
Yeah.
I got a phone call from my pal saying that my pal committed suicide.
Yeah.
I helped him. I was talking to him for about 6 months, helping through things and blah, blah. Texts me saying he's doing great, he's back at the gym, everything's doing well. Then out the blue, just my pal texts me saying that sadly passed away.
Yeah.
And 2 days after that, my other pal passed away on holiday. So I wasn't the best holiday in the way.
Yeah.
But also I went with my ex-partner to see how everything is, pushing in. And I was hard because I couldn't let out any feelings.
Of course.
So we're obviously on holiday trying to make the best of it.
Yeah.
So that was a tough thing.
Yeah. And that was the reason you reached out, because I'd said, let's do a podcast a while ago. And again, men don't want to talk. I do work with a lot of guys. And I get testimonials from those guys, and I get to work with those gentlemen. But this is really big, because again, we're going to see in the strongman world, talking about those emotions and those feelings. You wanted to do the podcast, and I when you said, "Oh, I want to do the podcast for this reason," so we want to make sure that everyone understands the reason of why this podcast came about. Is you wanted to talk about your struggles, so that you know that anyone around you, if they're going through something, you've probably gone through it, you've come out of it,
and I'm still here,
and you're still here. And yes, we have some good days, and yes, we have some bad days, but you wanted to let everyone else know around you that suicide doesn't have to be the option.
There's always help.
Yes.
And it's the hardest part is to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
But as the best relief.
Yes.
Talking to somebody, even if it's someone you do ken or somebody you do ken. This help your mind, calms you down in a certain way.
Yeah.
So obviously you did nothing stupid.
Yeah. Absolutely. So when we were working together, we worked on your triggers. We worked on the emotions, the negative emotions, the disempowering emotions that we work on, which was, there was sometimes jealousy, there was resentment had popped up. I remember the McDonald's thing. I know when you were sat in the McDonald's car park ready to, I remember. So we'll talk about that.
That was a good day.
It wasn't a good day, but I went from you going from sat in the McDonald's car park ready to take on the world to things have happened now bad, and I just need to chat, I just need a bit of process this. That's a whole new person, Mikey. And we were talking about that you're quite softly spoken.
I've always been quite softly spoken.
Yes.
I've never been a loud person or stuff like that.
Yeah. So, and I think we're all very clear. You remember the first time I came to the gym and you were like, my God, you're like a Tasmanian devil. I've not been in the gym for a while, so I was going and everything, and you're all judgment going, what's this Wallopper doing? But it was not, you never came over and judged me for it, which was hilarious. So let's move back. We're going to go back to your childhood. So if there's any teenagers, any young men going through something right now and thinking that they don't have any options and they want to have the option to be able to move forward. We talked about your childhood and when you were about 25 and you wanted to jump off a bridge, or you tried to jump off a bridge. So let's talk about that.
So I was going through relationship problems and other problems, work. I was in the sales quite a lot, back and forward with other stuff what's going on.
Yep.
Then I was at Brannigan's, the nightclub in Newmarket, got drunk, then walking home. There's just a bridge that crosses like the underpassage. Then I just went, fuck it, basically, and jumped off.
Right.
But obviously, I came out all right. It wasn't big enough, but you just, again, just that split second, you just didn't care.
Yeah. So what was the conversation? What was concept? Because I think so many people get so scared about this internal conversation. We talk about it when we're working out. It's the monkey mind. It's our emotions. They're letting us know where we are. The resentment, the negative, disempowering feelings and emotions that we have that create these conversations. And until we get explained what these internal conversations are, we can think I'm going to use the words that we shouldn't use, mental, going around the bend. When's this conversation going to stop? Am I schizophrenic? Am I bipolar? Am I going to end up in a mental institute? Because we can't stop these conversations, right? Well, we think we can't stop those conversations. What were your conversations with the drink? Drugs involved as well.
Yeah.
All right. Speed, I think we talked about, wasn't it?
I was really addicted to speed for about 5-6 months.
Yeah.
I was pretty bad on it. It was like, when you took it the first time, it was amazing. Getting this, I get high, everything feels good, just happy.
Yeah.
But then, obviously, when it starts coming off it, then obviously it's a horrible feeling. Again, so you just take more to keep that buzz, and obviously that wears off. You take more.
Yeah.
So it never ends. Basically, you just keep going and going. Then all of a sudden, just can't take it anymore. That's all right.
Yeah. So what was the conversations when you're on the bridge? Do you remember the conversations, or how long the conversation been building up? What was the internal thought process? What was the internal talk track like?
When I left the nightclub, also, my house is like 10-minute walk, and I have to cross that bridge anyway. So I was just walking, I was just fed up. Everything was going wrong at the time. So my head is like, so when I seen the bridge, was no talking, was just like, fuck it.
Yes.
Done it. No thought involved, or who I was going to hurt, or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then you look back, you're like, stupid idea, honestly.
Yeah.
But I can see why people do that.
Yeah.
But also, there's like, at that time, you've nobody there.
Yeah.
The thoughts overtake your mind.
Yeah.
So it's quite hard to bypass that. You know what I mean?
It is. And that's these negative, disempowering emotions. And we've talked about states of consciousness.
Aye.
And we've talked about that woe is me, that negative conversation keeps us down on a lower state of consciousness. And that's where shame, guilt, we reside in these negative emotions, and they're extremely harmful emotions. We need to learn how to level up those emotions to move up. Because we've talked about anger and how we can use anger as a positive force instead of a destructive force. We can use our anger to make us push on and really move forward in life.
I used to use anger quite a lot. That's my worst thing from in the sport, just every day in general, because I didn't know how to control my feelings, so I just revolved in anger. Yeah. Mostly, I didn't mean how it comes out or stuff like that. It just takes over. So, obviously, we've learned how to control my anger in the world, then how to bring it on at the competition. Yeah. Which is obviously what I need it most every day in life. Yes. And I remember when we were talking, and you were, I'm chuckling now, but you told me that your pre-competition was you went super dark. Aye. For like 2 days before the competition, you went super dark because you thought that gave you the strength to go into the competition. That's when you were coming in at 8th. Yes. I came 8th once and always in the top 5. Yeah. But I never managed to hit the podium. Yes. But super dark. Aye. Right. And we talked about not going super dark. Nah, then we came second. Right. So being dark's not always bad. No, being dark, but it gave us that feeling of strength. But there was a feeling of weakness, and when we have that weakness and we feel weak, especially in the sports, because it's not just strongman you've always done contact sports. I done cage fighting. Started with Bedford at the time. I've done MMA with him. Then I moved to my great pal, one of my best pals, Al Martin. Right. He owned Dublin Disturbance. Then he led me up to do pro fights. So I've always been quite high in a lot of sports.
Yes.
So.
And did you not tell me you had a medical condition that would make that you've got high testosterone? Is that right?
No, I've got a overacting adrenaline gland, so my adrenaline's always high.
Your adrenaline's always high. Right, that was it. Yes, yes. Talk to us about that high adrenaline that you have.
So high adrenaline is like, obviously, when you get scared or you're up for something, you feel your adrenaline goes, but mine's always at a high level, so I feel like that and miss days. So when I go to compete, that's like goes even higher.
Yeah.
So that's good and bad, obviously, because sometimes you can't control everything around you.
Yeah.
You kind of switch off.
Yeah.
Then obviously the sport of the day, you have to try and be a level head at anyway.
Yeah.
So sometimes pushing it over, there's a touch and go, or you make mistakes, silly mistakes, but you can't control it.
Yeah.
Then obviously family and friends, can you float with them? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's hard to control, obviously.
Yeah.
It's not the best feeling. I've been at that level of time. It's like Superman.
Yes. Yeah, Superman's got to have a Clark Kent day.
Is that have to come down sometime?
That was we were talking about that with drugs, with speed, amphetamines. The problem with amphetamines is you have these great highs, but the day after the lows are the lowest of the low. I mean they were horrible.
The next day is really great. That's where you take me that high.
Yeah.
Then also that's when you addict it.
Yeah.
Then you try to mix it up with alcohol, and when you're in a bad space mind, the health food doesn't mix. Yeah,
of course, absolutely.
So it makes you do stupid things also.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to go back to time after the bridge. I always help people understand meaning in life and change the meaning of things that's happened to them, and how there's always a gift. And I know it's a really hard thing to when we're in that negative, disempowered place, and you've got some guy saying there's always a gift. That a lot of times, it never did with you, by the way, but a lot of times that can piss off. What are you talking about? There's always a gift. I'm stuck in a jail cell. I've done this again. We have a repeated pattern. Now, that repeated pattern for you, and when I'm working with clients, because I'm so focused in the session, after the session's finished, I don't know what we've talked about a lot of the time. I've written some notes and stuff like that, but I do have that ability to be able to go, let's move that on, because I've got another client coming in, I need to be focused on that one. So very in the moment, focused. Out of that, I'll be like, I don't even know what we talked about. It's a skill. It is a skill. It's one of my processes. But let's go through what was the meaning you created up until the McDonald's car park. The McDonald's car park, you were sat ready to take on the world. That was like one of the worst moments as well, wasn't it?
I was not the best.
It wasn't. I know it wasn't good, and we'll deep dive that a little bit more. We'll deep dive that because it was a broken relationship, but you'd had a few broken relationships. So, what meaning were you bringing about yourself with these broken relationships?
Also, when I was trying to take on a role, just felt you need that something to take your anger out.
Yeah, of course.
So, and always relate, like I said, anger was my hang.
Yeah.
To how I get stuff out.
Yeah.
How my feelings out and stuff like that. So, I just didn't bother who was there or that. I just wanted to just do stuff.
Yeah.
Get hit someday or stuff like that. But, which is obviously got to end up in trouble.
Of course.
So that's why I need a bit of help.
Yeah.
So,
what was the belief about yourself you had that created those emotions? What was the belief about yourself? Was it not good enough? Was it not lovable? What when we got down to the root cause, there's always a root cause. What was the belief about self?
I just no believe in myself was a big bit.
Of course.
Never felt good about myself.
Never felt good about yourself.
I also never felt loved at the time.
At the time, yep.
And so I just felt useless.
Perfect.
Stuff like that.
And those extremely common feelings of uselessness, not loved, they come from this validation from outside.
Aye.
Validation of comparison. oh, well, I see this person's loved in a great relationship and I'm sat here in McDonald's car park ready to take on the world. What the fuck?
Oh, it gets you denied.
Of course it does. Absolutely it does. And that's why we brought all that external validation to an internal validation. We actually started working through a timeline of all the things and how we reframed everything. So you were like, oh no, I am loved. Oh no, I am actually good enough. Boom. We've started reframing. We've created that new mindset. And that took us from top 5, top 2 in the competition.
So just like what I said, everybody has to start at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then build slowly. But
yeah.
you will eventually get there.
Yeah.
That's the main.
You can't not get there if you don't quit. Yeah.
But you have to want to help.
Yes.
You just can't expect people to help you, and if they want to harm.
Correct.
And you have to change in yourself to move on.
Yes. Absolutely. So now when you, because you're injured at the moment, you've had
Aye, so I've got under twice history. But so the qualifier I tore my bicep and my chest. I think it was 6 weeks before the actual competition.
Yeah.
Had a grade 2 tear in my bicep and a grade 2 tear in my chest. But obviously in a stupid way, I still competed, qualified for the final. Then I was doing Glen Rossi's Scotland the week before that. I lifted the Swissville sandbag and tore my forearm, a grade 2, but I was hanging on basically. I think it was snapped at 93%. Was ripped. So, that was the best thing. I was like, obviously, a week out, I'll have to miss that, but that means I have to miss out the main Scottish Day, Shoot Murray's. So, this being the first time I ever had to sit out a competition, which was pretty hard on my head, obviously.
Yeah.
Was Shoot Murray's comp. I felt, again, a great event for me.
Yeah.
I was really strong at the time, felt great. My mind was strong.
Yeah.
Then obviously that happened, just like a deflated balloon. I mean, just
gives in. Absolutely. And how do you now manage these things? Because this is a big part of it now. Because I know you've got the skills and the tools to do it, and I know we still work on certain things and visualizations for future comps. But how do you manage that disappointment now?
I guess better. Everything heals. If you feel like that, phone you, text you, we have a chat. At night time, I listen to stuff what you gave me. I do my breathing exercises when I feel stressed or everything building up. So all that in one actual helps in a way.
Yeah.
Can keeps me calm. This was is always next to you.
Yeah.
Again, it's not the end of the world when people think it is.
Yeah.
Again, you do heal.
Yeah.
Time passes, you get stronger in the meantime. So when you're getting stronger, your mind getting stronger.
Yeah.
So at the end, stronger in both ways.
Yeah. So one of the things that I've used is an analogy with a lot of clients. I've probably used it with you as well, especially in the genre that you work in, is when a muscle breaks, which is what essentially that's what you're doing to get stronger. You have to break the muscle, repair it with protein and whatever we do to get that repair in, and it gets stronger.
Right.
And that's literally the model of life, isn't it? We break and we get stronger. We break and we get stronger. We come back and we refeed into that beast of, and I was working with another client just recently, and they use this fantastic analogy of, I just feel like I'm a house of cards. And yeah, I've come back from something and I've enjoyed, I've come back from the defeat and the loss, but I feel like I'm a house of cards. And if someone goes, I'm going to fall. And I always come back with a really simple concept with my, tell me about, what's your gift? With losing this, what was the gift? Oh, well, actually the gift was, and this is a simple change in mindset, is I know it's going to feel bad, but what was the gift?
The gift was I actually gave my whole body time to rest. Again, my body wasn't in a rest. Again, I was 8 years constant.
Yeah.
No break in between.
Yeah.
So taking this time off has actually done a lot for me, mentally and physically.
Yeah.
So it's like my pal said, imagine a tree comes in seasons, it's broad, the leaves fall off, that comes back up. So you always got to be, takes time every season like every day.
Yeah.
Can you always going to bloom again?
Yeah.
So
let's talk about the professional strongman world, because even though strongman's on the way up and we've got the superstars, your Stoltmans, your Mitchell Coopers, it's not a lot of money in it. You still have to have, and this is something with like Felix, Mark Felix.
He's a plaster.
He's a plasterer, so you've still got to do your day job to bring in the money. You're always looking for sponsorships as well, because it costs to go to a competition, it costs to get stayed up at night, costs for the food that you do, and it's not cheap. I've seen the amount of food you eat. That's why I got it. In all fairness, that's why I got into strongman. So I still eat like a strongman, but I've stopped training like a strongman.
The food's good.
So
best part.
It costs. It's not a cheap sport to get into.
It's a very new sport.
Yeah.
And you have like your physios. I'm quite glad now I've got a sponsor physio.
Yes.
So, but at the time I used to go every week, which is £50 a week.
Yep.
So it's like £200 a month.
Yep.
Just from physio.
Yep.
Then you have like your food bill. My food bill is between 120 to 150 a week. Just with like my steak, my chicken, my veg, stuff like that.
You got a butcher now, haven't you? Have you got a butcher sponsor? Oh, I saw that.
Overton Butcher and Kirkcaldy.
Yeah. Nice plug. So
and Sebas, obviously, they've been my main sponsor since 7th year. They've helped me out.
Now Cerebrus is a great, and you do a lot of posts for Cerebrus as well. They are, in all fairness, I do see Cerebrus products, and they are good. Yeah. They've started, in fact, Cerebrus, if you're watching this, and we'll tag Cerebrus on this, dipping jackets. Talk to me about dipping jackets. I've got a great community of dippers, and your Cerebrus jackets. Give me a shout. Right, so to see, for anyone that's watching this now, 20-year-old guy, back in the day where you were, 20-year-old guy, he goes to the gym, low self-worth. How does he know he's got low self-worth? He looks fantastic with the muscles, but has no confidence, struggles to talk to girls, boys, looking for relationships, doesn't feel like they're good enough on the inside, even though they've got this fantastic outside, stuck in the comparison world of social media, and they've got this anger and frustration with the world. What do you say to that guy?
That's quite a tough one.
It's a tough question. It's a curveball, Mikey. I'm not even going to lie.
Advice on that person would be like, keep going, stick in, working you inside, you make your head strong.
Yeah.
You have to have a focus.
Yeah.
If you're always thinking the negative, it's going to be negative.
Yeah.
You need positive in your life.
Yeah.
So if you say one day, that's my positive, work on that positive.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Every day is going to be a negative in the world.
Yes.
There's always going to be a negative every place.
Absolutely.
That's how life is.
Yeah.
But could always be better.
Yes.
How to control it.
Yes.
So that boy struggling with that, talk to people in the gym.
Nice.
Can have friends, talk to them, train together.
Yeah.
That's because also the gym community is always good.
It is. In all fairness, it's especially for Steve's gym. In fact, any gym in I don't know, we're locally based in Kirkcaldy and Leven and Fife area. Every gym I've ever walked into, I've always been made to feel welcome, even by the big guys and the little guys, the ladies and stuff like that. Comparison is the thief of joy. I am one of those people that I genuinely don't give a fuck what other people think. That's something that a lot of people like. You genuinely know, because I know what's this. I know what self-worth is. I know what this is on the inside. So whenever people on the outside will say, "Could you this and you this and you this," it's like it's water off a duck's back, because this on the inside is so rock solid. I know what my core values are. I know what my I am statements, my identity is. And these are things that people can work on in group programs, working with coaches, therapists. I don't think we have to struggle as much. The only struggle we have is not even having that conversation. Because we're scared of what people will think.
It's like, obviously, strongman can.
Yeah.
People think, oh, they struggle, they're strong.
Of course.
But there's a lot of strongmen who do struggle.
I see a lot of men.
So it's not just like the weak people, it's actually the strongest people struggle too. So keep that in mind, they may say, oh, I'm weak and that, but the actual strong people struggle too. Everybody has bad days.
Of course, everyone does.
And there's always help out there.
Yeah.
If they need it.
Yeah.
And there's helplines, there's clubs, there's you who helped me through a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of me help now than there was a couple of years ago.
Yeah. What was the tipping point for you saying, fuck it, I need to speak to someone? What was the tipping point?
Just spent my whole life just went upside down.
Yeah.
Just felt nothing, empty.
I remember now. You didn't understand how to feel anything, did you? You want joy, or you had no feelings. There was nothing.
None there. Just every day I woke up, I was like, "There's a point of getting up."
Disassociated, completely disassociated with life. Yeah,
Aye, that was hard. That was a tough time.
Yeah, I remember. And we worked through some key moments in your life. We'll not talk about them now, but we worked through some key moments in your life, and we looked at them from a different angle. It was a perceptual position that, right, actually, now that's how you felt it would happened. What's the other option? And we started looking for, oh, it could have been that, and it could have been this. But we get so zoned in on a perspective that we're just like, well, that's the only thing it must have been. And we
just because you got one thought in your head, and that's what you stick to.
Yeah.
Then, but when you break it down like what you done with me,
yeah,
that problem is nothing to having what's good.
Yeah.
So that's why obviously having you made me happy. I do have a bad day, I look at having what's good. And
yes.
That problem's a wee problem.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah. So. Absolutely. And you release it now. You release the emotion. You cry.
Right. I do cry, aye.
Yeah.
That's it.
Big boys cry.
That's it.
We do.
The feel.
Actually, it is a good feeling. It's a release. It's like, oh, thank God. It's like the champagne cork's being off, and we just let it out. Oh, that's why champagne tastes so good. We could use that.
A lot of people keep it in.
Yeah.
That's what causes me problems.
Yeah.
But that's when me with anger, I kept it in for so long.
Yeah.
Then I just.
And a gentleman of your size and strength holding that amount of anger in is fucking scary. I mean, genuinely, think that you are strong. I mean, what is it you deadlift now? You're up to the 400s, you know? You're 3?
But feet is my best, but I've never done a proper deadlift PB again, but me and Stevie, I think, be over 400 now.
Yeah.
So we've got to try it soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Unbelievable. So thank you very much. I think this is a powerful podcast for anyone listening in. Thank you for sharing.
Right. Happy to be here.
It was when you, and the reason we did this podcast is for everyone, not just locally but around the world. Everyone's got this internal conversation. This internal conversation is more normal than you like to believe. But we start creating concepts of self through the conversations. I'm really well versed in it, but I still have days I'm like, nah, that's not the meaning I want. I don't want that meaning. I know that's how it feels. And I sometimes say that feelings, I know there's a common word of you're allowed to feel that way.
I just think a lot of people don't understand mental health.
I don't think they do, you're right.
The partners, family, friends, they actually get themselves.
And I know a lot of, yeah, you're right.
What just causes a lot of problems in that line too, because your partner, your family member doesn't know how to help you.
Yeah.
Then they may just say, oh, what's wrong? Talk to me. What makes it worse?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because we didn't talk about a lot of stuff. We helped, and what mind management is, and I always say this a lot to the clients, and when I'm working with clients, I'm like, we need to make sure this is going to work for both of us, because I'm going to take you to the problem so we can resolve it. I'm not going to move away from the problem. We're going to get to the core. We're going to pull that root out, and we did it in about 2 sessions. I remember it was quite quick with you. And once we deal with it, we can heal it. Once we feel it, we can heal it. And that's a really powerful thing that we do. More healed we become, more stronger we become.
I know a lot of people that talk about to the partners or family because they want to make you, they want to look bad to them.
Yeah.
Or if it's something to do with them,
yeah,
they want to cause a hassle.
Yeah.
If you're sitting on the couch with your partner, your family, and they talk, it's not like they do love them or they want them there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just cause hang about other stuff.
Yes.
But the presence of them being there is helpful.
Yes. Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Mikey.
Thank you very much.
That's great. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you very
listening
much.
to another episode of the Mind Management Mentors podcast. I'm Cuddy Cudworth, the host of these podcasts, mind management coach, helping people to manage their minds, their confidence, their strength, overcoming adversity and trauma in quite a quick and safe manner, to be honest with you.
And there's always help out there.
There's always help there. It doesn't have to be with a mind management coach. It can be with whoever you're going to resonate with. And that's something that I always say with my clients is if we don't resonate, it's probably not going to work. And I want to make sure that they get the help that they want moving forward. As always, big love from the Power Wilson, Michael the Power Wilson.
Thank you very much for having me.
It was good. Great. It was good. And big love from Cuddy. And remember, if it's in the mind, it can be managed. And we'll see you on the next episode of the Mind Management Mentors podcast.